Hi everyone, I am here to discuss lists in Python. Lists is one of the important data structure in Python using which we can store heterogeneous type of data. Heterogeneous means the list elements can belong to different types. Unlike arrays in C++, Java, lists in Python allow us to store different types of data. For example, one element in a list can be of type integer, another element can be of type string, and another element can be of type float, and it will also allow other data structures to be members of the list. For example, a list can contain a set as an element, as its element, another list as its element, a dictionary, a string, etc. That is the flexibility provided by Python lists. Then lists are mutable. Mutable in the sense we can edit the elements of the list. For example, the first element, if it is stored as 2 initially, that can be changed to 3. The elements of the list can be changed. Whereas there are some other data types in Python which are not mutable. Those are like strings and tuples. Next, lists are of dynamic size. Unlike arrays in other programming languages such as C++, and Java, lists are of dynamic size. The lists in Python can grow to any size until the system allows. That is one important feature of lists. There is no restriction on the size of the list. Then insertions and deletions of the elements is made very easy in Python lists, because of which we can write programs in a flexible and easy manner using Python lists. Then one drawback of Python lists is random access of elements is not directly allowed. Of course, by using another data structure, it will take care of the random access of the elements. Because of that, the access of list elements is somewhat slower when compared to other programming languages. Okay, for example, accessing the elements of array in C++, or Java is quite faster when compared to the access of elements of a list in Python. That is because of this heterogeneous kind of storage. For example, if one is string and another one is float and another element is integer, so it cannot decide from where the next element starts. Why? Because different data types occupy different sizes of memory. So because of that reason, it can't provide direct access of elements. But Python manages to provide direct access to the elements or random access to the elements, but that consumes a bit amount of time. Next, lists can implement arrays. So whatever we do with arrays in other programming languages, that we can do very much in lists. Suppose if you are very particular about array operations and if you want to do scientific applications based on arrays, then I suggest you to look at NumPy library, where you can use many methods that are based on arrays. Next, Python provides several methods to work with lists. Some of them are, there are so many methods available, and some of them are append, pop, insert, remove, count, finding min, finding max, sum of the list, etc. So in this video, let us see some operations that we can perform on lists. In other videos, I will come up with some more details. First, let me take creating a list. A list in Python can be created in two ways. One is by using list constructor or list method. Okay, so another way is by using empty square brackets. The lists in Python, the elements of the lists in Python are enclosed within square brackets. If you see some elements enclosed within square brackets, we can understand that that is a list. Then L1, L2. Then let me print. This will print empty list. Yes, L1 is empty, L2 is empty. Suppose I would like to initialize the list with some elements. Let me do like this. 1, 2, 3. This will make a list and this will also make a list. Let me print this one. The elements are like this. So these are the two ways to create a list. Suppose if I use some other type, for example, this if we enclose the elements within round brackets, then that indicates that is a tuple. But that tuple will also be converted to list if you use this list method. This will also give the same result. Okay, so for example, if you consider like this is going to be a set. This can also be created as a list. Okay, so this is how we can create a list in Python. Next, adding elements into the list. We have different methods available to add elements into the list. For example, let me take L1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have created a list L1 with 5 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 initially. I would like to add one more element into the list. What can I do? L1 dot append. Append, as the name suggests, element will be added at the end. For example, I will take 6. Then print L1. What will happen? The list will contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is one option to insert an element or add an element into the list. There is one more function by name insert, using which we can insert the element in a particular position. For example, I would like to add 7 at the beginning of the list. Then what can I give here? 0, space 0, 7. The element is 7 and the position is 0. Then let me print this list. Yeah, so the name is L1 here. The name of the list is L1. Yes, we got it. So the insert will insert the element at a given position. So let me try with, I will be doing L1 dot insert. I will do at middle. For example, at third position, I would like to insert some value 10. Yes, this is the case. 7, 1, 2, at third position 10 is inserted, and then remaining elements will be just pushed towards right. Okay, so this is insert operation. There is one more method like extend, which will take the elements from another list and combine to the original list. For example, L2 is 10 already considered, 30, 40, 50. L2 contains 30, 40, 50. Now I would like to add this L2 to L1. How can I do that? Extend. Extend is one option. Extend L2. Now let me print L1. So if we print L1, what will happen? The L2 elements will be added to L1 and they will become members of L1 by this unpacking of list will be done, and that will be, those elements will be added at the end to L1. You see, 30, 40, 50, they are part of list L2. By using this extend function, that list is unpacked and all those elements are individually added to the end of the first list. Suppose if you want to add the list as it is, then there is one option here. So that option is nothing but L1 dot append L2. Now If I print L1, what will happen? Yes, you see 30, 40, 50 are added in the form of list only. This append is done, but that whole list is treated as one single element and that has become part of list. So these are the various options to add elements into the list. What are those options? Append, insert, extend, and appending any other data structure. That could be list, that could be set, that could be anything. So the difference between extend and append is like extend will unpack the list and the elements will be individually added. Append will keep the data type will keep the element as it is and that will be added in its native form to the list. Next, deleting elements from a list. Let us consider one list L1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. The list contains 10 elements. How to delete elements from the list? There is one option like pop. This method, it will remove the last element from the list. So if I print L1, 10 should be removed from the list. Yes, it is done. Then there is one more variation of this pop. That pop is nothing but pop with index. For example, I would like to remove the first element. Then I will be giving the index 0. Now if I print L1, what will be printed? The first element is removed. Like this, I can give a particular position and then I can remove. Then there is one more option. Removing the element by its value, not by position but by value. Suppose I would like to remove 3. Then print L1. 3 is not position here but it is element. Then 3 is removed. You see the last line of the output, 3 is removed. Suppose list allows duplicate elements into it as its members. Suppose 3 is there for 3 times. Let us assume 3 is there for 3 times. If I perform this L1 dot remove of 3, which 3 will be removed? The first 3 will be removed and remaining 2 3s will be remaining as it is. Let me run this code again. You see, in the first line of the input, you can observe pop means the last element is removed, pop of 0 means first element is removed, and in the third line of the third line of the output, 1 3 is removed, but 2 3s are existing as it is. So what this remove can do is, it can remove only one occurrence of the element. Suppose if my interest is to remove all the 3s, then I can add a little bit of code here. I will write for I in range L dot, what is the name of the list? L1 dot count of 3. So what this count of 3 will give? It will get the number of occurrences of 3. So in this case, the number of occurrences of 3 is 3. So this count will return that 3. So for I in range 3, what we will do is remove all the 3s. Remove 3 for 3 times. Then this should remove all the occurrences of 3. Yes. So this is how you can remove all the occurrences of one particular element. Okay. So let us see this again. Pop without a parameter will remove the last element. Pop with a parameter will remove the element at a particular position, and it will remove the element by its value rather than position. And what this count function or count method will do, it will find the number of occurrences of the given element. Then reading elements into a list. So first I will explain how to read elements into a list when those elements are strings. Then we will see how to read numbers into the list. So let us assume there is one list L1. We have to read input into this one. This is one way to read strings. Input dot split. When you are giving the input in the single line separated by spaces, this L1 should get the input given in the single line. Suppose, then let me print L1. Now I will run the code, and in the input what I should give, names of 10 students separated by space. So for the sake of convenience, I am taking the names of the students as one character only. You can give the full name: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. I have given 10 names of the students. You see, all those are taken into the list and they are considered as strings. The default data type of Python input is string. So they are separated by spaces. This split function will treat space as the default separator, and it will separate the elements based on the space, and then all those are sent to L1. Now this L1 is a list of 10 names. Okay, this is one way, and another way is by using list comprehension. We can do like this. um, I for I in input dot split. So here these two methods will not be of much difference, but when we read numbers it will be different, so we can see that. So let me name this list as L2. L2 is, let me print L2. Okay, let me run this one. Both will be working in the same fashion. So for the sake of convenience, as I told you, I am taking the names as single letters only. You can try with actual names: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. This is first kind of reading elements into the list. Second kind I am giving again: A, B, C, yes, okay, so anything, okay. How many are given? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we can give any length of input actually. We are interested only in 10. So here we are also not restricting how many elements should enter into the list. So in the next method I will show you how to restrict the elements. Yes, this is another method. These two will work equally the same. Next, let me take some third method. So for this third method, what I will do is I will read the size of the input. Int input, how many names? How many names? Then I will run a for statement for I in range n. We will read, let me create one list here, L3. We will read element by element, and then that will be appended to L3 dot append int of int. Oh, sorry, this is input. This is a string form, that's why input. Then print L3. This is another way of reading input. So let me run this again. So the first kind is A, B, C, D, E. I am giving only 5 here. Okay, no problem. For the second one, I am giving some names, some random names, some 5 names for the second one. For the third one, I am reading how many names. Suppose I am interested only in reading 3 names. So let it be like ASDF. I have to give line after line. Why? Because I have written like that. If I give in the same line, that will be treated as a single name. Next, I am giving phone. Yes, this is the list L3. Next one. Method 4. Let me take that as L4. L4 equal to like this. I'll be reading the input. So for this, what I will read is some N1 equal to int of input. How many names? How many names? Next, L4 is, I will be taking this as input dot split. I told you in earlier case, I can give any number of names. There is no restriction. Though my intention is to take 10 or 5, etc. So the user can give any number of names. All those will come into list. So this method will restrict that. Even if you give some 5 names or 6 names, and if n is 4, it can take only up to 4. This is another method. So print L4. Let me run this. The first method, I am giving 4 names. In the second method, I am giving 4 names. In third method, I will be reading how many names are to be given. So I will be giving 4 more. I will be giving Anil. 2 names are given. Next, in the fourth method, I am reading 3 names. So they are to be separated by space only. Komalam. I will give some Vikram. Some Kiran. So 3 names are read. Suppose even if I give more than 3, it will take only 3. Let me see, show that one. Let us run this again. So I will give A, B, C, D, 4 names. Okay. In the second one, I am giving only 2 names. In the next one, I am giving 2. I am giving Komala and then some Anil. Next, I am giving how many names means I am giving 2. If I give more than 2 also, it will be taking only the first 2. Let me give Komala, Vikram, Kiran. I have given 3, but it will restrict to 2 only. Let us see the output. You see, though I gave 3 inputs, it took only 2. Why? Because I am restricting the size in fourth method. You see this? So this is list slicing. I will be covering this in next videos. Okay? So this is how we read strings into a list. Next, reading numbers. Reading numbers requires conversion from string to integer type. So this is very important. This, for example, if you want to read the input as float values or integer values, we have to apply these methods. So first, let me take the first one. L1 is input dot split. What will happen here? It will read the elements in the string form. It will read the elements in string form. I need to convert them to integer. Suppose if I give something like this int, this input dot split is a list, and this int function cannot be applied on a group of elements. So for this reason, what we have to do is we have to apply a map function like this. What does this map do? It will repeatedly apply this int method over the elements of input.split multiple times. For example, if I have given 10 elements, this int function will be applied on all those 10 elements individually, and that will be stored in the form of a map object. So this map object cannot support the built-in methods of lists. So for that reason, we must explicitly convert this to list type. Okay. Now you can give print L1. Okay, so I will take another one, L2, just to show you the difference between these uh, two methods. Then you can easily understand them within one program. Print L2. So the first method will read the numbers, integers. The second method will read strings. So let us see both of them. Let me give some 5 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, they are all considered as elements of the list. They are all integers. Let me give the same input for the second list. You see the difference between these two outputs. The first one is of integer type. The second one is still in string form. What does this map int is doing? It is bulkily applying this int onto the list. What is that input dot split? The return value of that input dot split is a list of strings. All those strings will be converted to integer, and then this map object is converted back to list. This is how we have to read numbers into a list. In the next video, I will be explaining list slicing, list comprehension, and how to access the elements of the list, and then some programs based on lists. Okay, I hope you understood the video. You understood the topic that we discussed. Let me just quickly summarize what we have covered in this video. First, we focused on the fundamentals of lists in Python. So what are lists in Python, and how they are different from arrays, and what are the special features of lists in Python. Next, we have seen how a list can be created. We discussed two methods here. Then how to add elements into a list. Next, we discussed deleting elements from a list. Actually, I forgot to tell you something here. For example, if you want to clear all the elements of the list in one stroke, you can do like that. So let me take L1 is some list here. Let me consider L1 dot clear. What this L1 dot clear will do, it will remove all the elements from the list. Let us do this one. You see the last line of the output. So L1 dot clear, what it did is it has cleared the entire elements of the list, but list will be there. Suppose if you are not interested in one particular list, you have to remove it completely from the program. Then what you can do is del L1, del followed by L1. Then if you print L1, we must get an error. Why? Because L1 is removed and we are trying to print L1. Let us see this. You see, in the last line, in 13th line, we got the error like, what is the error? Name L1 is not defined. Why? Because I have just deleted and then I am trying to access L1. So this del statement will completely remove the list. Okay, this I forgot to explain earlier. Now I covered. Next one. Read elements into a list. How to read names of the students into the list? We have seen by 4 methods. The first 2 methods are like input.split. Third method is we will read the number of inputs and then we will run for loop over that. Fourth method is like by using list slicing, we can restrict the number of elements that are entering into the list. Next one. Read elements into a list, reading numbers into a list actually. So how, for example, I am interested in reading integers into the list, but the default data type of Python input is string. How that can be converted to integer? So by using this map method. Okay, so I have explained the difference between input.split and after converting input.split into integer type. Okay, so I hope you understood the content and I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, please share it among your friends and subscribe. Thank you.